in a minute. KJ, an important win for Man United tonight before the international break. Not the greatest of performances. What did you make of it, mate?
We're halfway to our target of 40 points to make sure we don't get relegated. So that is good. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll be safe for the season. The performance overall, it started off well. I was very happy with the start. We looked like we was on it, and then Rasmus's chance got saved, and then the same old United kicks in, chance after chance after chance. They're not taking them. Their confidence is all over the place, and honestly, I'm watching it, and I'm just like, this is from the attacking point of view, it's pathetic that these players, in my opinion, can't strike a ball clean enough to get past the goalkeeper. Garnacho and Rashford, those two are golden opportunities that any striker in the world would want to have, and they squandered them both. And it's like, it doesn't matter what combination we have, because we have arguments as Man United fans of this player should start, that player should start. No attacker bar Rasmus right now is providing anything of substance. They're just not. And at this point, may as well put all our defenders and midfielders on, because those are the guys scoring goals. Those are the guys scoring goals. Our attackers aren't scoring. Last season, we had at least one attacker scoring. Now we have an attacker who's playing well, but can't score in the league, but he can do it in the Champions League. And honestly, with these performances, I don't know how it changes. Because Luton at home is normally the game where you're like, all right, everybody eats. You know what I'm saying? Everybody eats session. Everyone gets their few goals. Everyone gets their confidence up, and you go into the international break feeling good. As a United fan, I don't feel good. I don't know when this is going to change. I don't know if Sir Jim will bring anything to the club, because we know the Glazers are the Glazers. So this win, what much does it do for my confidence as a fan? It doesn't really do much personally, but
do you know what's really crazy about those missed chances? Is Rashford one will count as a chance because he ended up getting a shot off. But we talked to Will last night about stats, and this is where stats are very important in football. Football clubs use them, managers use them. But Garnacho's opportunity does not count as a chance created because no shot happened. But we all know watching the game, that was I don't know what you would put, that doesn't feed into your XG. It feeds into nothing. And there was other times tonight as well where good balls were put into the box and players ain't making the right runs. That shows a 0 XG. But we as football fans see it, and you go, if that player makes that run, he's there, it's a tap-in. And there's still so much of that. Hannah, from your point of view, do you agree with KJ around this lack of confidence from our attackers is really stopping us from blowing some teams away in terms of our overall performances?
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, KJ said, even if one attacker last season was scoring, he was scoring a lot, and it makes such a stark difference. And I literally tweeted before, all of our goals are coming from defenders and midfielders. And it is worrying because you look at Højlund, and like you say, whether he's getting fed or not, he's trying, and he's proven to score goals, and it's hard to watch. And I don't see anything really changing at the moment because we're just playing the same every single game. Like, we have to say Luton were good today. Like, they played very tight, they were compact, but we should really be scoring more goals. Our goal difference is really embarrassing. And yeah, our points are there, like you're saying, a win is a win, and we have to take that as that's great. But it's just, where are our goals going to come from? Are we just going to keep getting these 1-0 wins? It's not really good enough. I miss the days where we used to put 4 or 5 past the team and we were comfortable within 20 minutes, like we were on Wednesday. But then obviously,
yeah.
Wednesday's performance was great, and the 20 minutes.
Don't you feel like that's the issue though? When we have had some games where we've started well, something's gone wrong in the game and it's fallen away, and then you have games like today where you think, a home against Luton, score early, bang 4 or 5 in and start building the confidence again. We just never seem to, and some of it's our own fault, and sometimes it's been decisions that go against us, but we can never really seem to get ahead of steam.
Yeah, no, that's it. There's a lot of individual confidence issues. Like Rashford, half those chances today, if not all of them, he was burying last season. It's you wouldn't think it was literally 6 months ago. It feels like a lifetime ago that he had this insane confidence, and it's just not there. And like you say though, Terry, Twitter, social media, everywhere that's negative, it does seep down. And he spoke out, didn't he, earlier in the week, and said he's spreading lies. So they do see what people say, and it does get to them. Definitely, it's not just United players. I think all football players. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it certainly is. In terms of any standout performance today in the Man United team for you that you were impressed with?
Thought Højlund was good. Again, it's just not putting him away, but his pace, his, like you say, his link-up play, it's really, he's kind of our diamond in the rough at the moment. And again, another good performance. I thought Maguire was good again today. Like, he's looking solid. So it's interesting at the moment, some of our players that, you know, aren't the favourites. I even tweeted, I was a bit embarrassed because I even tweeted, like, I don't want to see Lindelof today. And then he's our goal scorer. Like, at the moment, it's all the unlikely people, which is nice in a way, but we just need the entire team. It's like they've not gelled this season, and it's, like I say, it's kind of stressful.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Like Cam as well. I mean, do you concur with what Han and KJ are saying, or you?
No. Yeah, let's go, Cam. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm back. I'm back. So it's been a while since I've been around.
Yeah, and he turns up when we win.
Everybody, I missed you guys. I took a little break, and it's important to do that in some moments because you're able to wash away all the. I think I'm looking at the game in isolation because I'm not looking at all the past bullshit the last few weeks that have happened. We were fine today. We were pretty good today, if we're going to be honest. If you just look at today, honestly, there's moments I'll say, yes, we are static in some passages of play. Like where there's times where like you see Rashford sitting on the ball and nobody's moving, and you're just like, can somebody do something? But outside of that, I've been watching a lot of people come at Rashford, and it's like he created 4 chances, and I remember them all. The first one with Højlund, we say should have buried. No, it was a really good save.
No, that was an excellent save.
It was an unbelievable save. Like there's nothing you could do about it. On target, perfect cross, boom. First one. The next one, almost an own goal. Again, Rashford created that. The third one turned into a goal, right? Like Rashford and then his own shot. So Rashford wasn't terrible today. He just doesn't have confidence. So I agree with everybody saying that part. His confidence is down. And there's a lot of chemistry issues with the team. But he wasn't terrible today. Like he did what he's supposed to do. People keep talking about him last year. He was playing striker last year. Obviously, he's going to score a lot more goals as a striker. I still think he should be starting at left wing and not ever playing on the right. I don't like him on the right, but if we got to put Garnacho in there because we've got terrible right wingers that we can't actually play, it is what it is, right? I think Bruno was our best player today. I think Bruno was great in all phases. Honestly, he won the ball back a bunch. He created a ton. I thought Bruno was great. Also, one more thing Rashford did, that overlap with Reguilon, when Reguilon crossed it in, and then we also should have scored from that. That was Rashford too. So there's a lot of things he did well that I was marking down because I knew people were going to come for him because he didn't score. So I'm like, all right, what has Rashford done today? That's what I wanted to focus on, if I'm being honest. I think it's easy to get lost in how bad we've been and not sometimes watch what's going on. Yes, a 1-0 victory against Luton does suck, but we just need to win games right now. That's what we need to do. We have no chemistry, and the hope is at some point after this year, I don't think Erik ten Hag's going anywhere, and I don't think he should. We always talk about the negative stats, but he is the second fastest manager to 30 wins in United's history, right? So he's not it's not all doom and gloom. It is bad. Sorry, that's my washing machine. I apologize. It's not all doom and gloom. Because when you were just talking about it, Terry, in your intro, like we are only 3 points behind Liverpool. Like we're not. It's like people are talking about us like we're Chelsea right now, and we're in the abyss.
I get that. So go on, KJ. Go on.
Yeah, but you said like right now we just need to win, right? Like we just need wins. But how long can we be in that mode for? Because it feels like we've been in that mode since the Carabao Cup. It's every game doesn't matter how we do. We just need to win. Just need to win. Just to win. At some point, it's not just about winning, but it's like, okay, we have a base for performance that we can build on.
So to be honest, man, and like every team deals with it, but we just got destroyed by injuries, right? We did. We've got to be honest. We got absolutely annihilated by injuries, and something to be said about. I'm holding out hope about you bring in a Sir Jim and he maybe changes the structure. Like it all goes back to the Glazers, right? So all we can hope for as United fans until something changes within our structure is that we win and that we stay in and about the conversations of being a team in Europe that you may want to come play for, because if we don't do that until Sir Jim does something where we start seeing changes, because questions do have to be asked about Eric Ten Hag's talent ID. When you think about Antony's and you think about the players he's brought in, the Mounts and such, they're not really doing much. So you're hoping that, you know, we can steady the ship and stay around and keep winning and be decent until things change structure-wise. That's how I look at it. Like, I don't think anything's going to change as long as our structure is the same. That's just where my head is at. So I look at it realistically, that I'm happy to take the wins where we get them. And I do hope at some point our structure changes and we figure it out.
Like, no, I get that, and I'm here for that too, because obviously we need change, and I've never been one that's anti-Jim from the get-go, because he could have won and he has won now, and he's trying to do something, so whatever. But on the pitch, even though Luton lost, I can probably sit here and say that was probably the easiest game they've had all season, in terms of when they're on the ball, making things happen, going through our midfield and going up the pitch in 3 or 4 passes. It's just too easy. And these are the base things I'm looking at. So you got the attackers not performing well. You've got the midfield getting passed through very easily. And then in the defense is doing well. Like Onana's picked up form, Maguire's picked up form. People are performing well in stints in the defense. But as an overall team, it's like we need it to kick in.
Did you ever think he was going to score, though, other than the one opportunity, that one shot? Did you ever feel like they were going to score today?
No. It's not about, okay, so it's a complicated one, because it's not about feeling they will score like 100%, but it's about the shakiness that we have as a team.
Yeah, and this is where I agree with Cam. I get where you're coming from, Cam, and you're not wrong about everything. Of course you're not. Like, generally people aren't 100% wrong about anything when it comes to football. But we need to start making people scared to come to Old Trafford.
Yeah.
And when we're narrowly winning games, that isn't going to happen. There is no fear factor. We need to start hurting teams. One of my biggest concerns with Ten Hag is that Mount's starting on the bench, Amrabat's on the bench. Mainu's come back from injury. The reason I mention him is because he's a player that he said he's going to feature a lot this year. Hasn't featured since he returned. Antony, I know he's out of form, but he's on the bench. Varane, someone that last year used a lot, he's on the bench. There's whether it's if he's fallen out with players or he's bought people and he hasn't been able to get the best out of them. That's what concerns me. We're starting games at the minute with players he was trying to sell in the summer. And you look at that, our overall performances, that's where my concerns are. And look, I hope that Sir Jim comes in and it all works. I hope that we get rid of everybody at the club that's pulling in an opposite direction to what Ten Hag wants. I hope we make Ten Hag's ideal philosophy, the club's philosophy, and we play it to its optimum level when it works. I do not want us to fail. The problem that I've got is I feel like they're going to come in and they will clear everybody out, other than the players. And it's because it's easier to start afresh that way and draw a line and say never again. It just because they're talking about all the John Myrtles and the Richard Arnolds, the whole recruitment team. I can just imagine them getting rid of Ten Hag's team and it's basically saying to the players, but that's it now. There's no more throwing managers on the buses, because it's easier to do that and fix that problem in that way when you're a new owner than it is to keep the manager, keep the coaching staff, keep this person, keep all these players, and slowly start buying new individuals, because you're still going to have that rot and those problems and those bad relationships. So you're starting off with a problem. But look, I get where you're coming from. We have had injury problems. We saw what's happened. We're not as good as Arsenal. We're not as good as Man City right now, and we know that. But we've seen what happened today with Spurs. Their first game with 2 or 3 of their main players out, and they should have lost 3-4, 5-0 again. Well, they deserve their goals, to be fair. They should have lost 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 today. We've seen what happens with City when they lose Rodri. They lose 3. They lose. Is it 3 domestic games on the bounce or something along those lines? Like that.
Yeah, about 3 domestic games they lost.
That's one player, so we know that plays a part as well. But I don't think it's as simple as I don't believe, Cam, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, Hannah. I just don't believe that once our injuries are back, we're going to look.
Well, real quick, Tel, real quick.
Terry.
Real quick, just one sec. Real quick, Tel. You said we need to bring the fear factor, and I agree. But we were 2 world-class saves away from a 3-0 today. Like those 2 saves, the McTominay header and the Rasmus Højlund save, those were those saves for me. And it only happened. It feels like it only happens to us. It probably happens in other games. I don't watch enough of all the other games, but those 2 saves for me, I'm like.
But that's the thing. But Cam, I know we're gonna go to Hannah in a sec. But like, no one's got issues with world-class saves. I'm not complaining about the world-class saves, because you got to give the opposition players respect for them doing their jobs correctly, which the goalkeeper did. It's the fact that on top of those 2 world-class players, we had 2 clear opportunities to score, and we fumble it in the most united ways possible. And it's like, that can't happen. Two world-class saves can happen, but 2 big chances missed against Luton Town at home, for me, it can't happen.
Liverpool just lost to him.
No, I know they did. So I'll come to you in a second, Tony. Sorry. What's your take on what we're saying, Han?
Yeah, I agree with KJ. It's not sustainable. Like, these should be the games, you know, kind of like what you said, Terry, where we can finally get into positive goal difference after this game. Like, that should be the kind of vibes. But it's, again, Luton played okay, but we're at home. We've got no excuse. We've got some great players, and it's just frustrating to watch us be so wasteful. Like, again, like to quote KJ, everything's just so united. Like, you watch it and you're like, when they added those extra 8 minutes on, like, I was having like palpitations. Honestly, I was like, why am I nervous that we're going to bottle this?
I said the same thing to my dad. I was like, how does 8 minutes seem an advantage to Luton and it seems disadvantage to us? What's going on here? That's what it feels
honestly, I was like, it's in the script that Chong is going to score. And obviously, great, it didn't happen. But why as fans should we feel that way when we're playing Luton Town? We're not playing City, we're not playing Arsenal. Like, why are we stressed to bottle a 1-0 lead? You know, wow, amazing at home. So it's, a win's a win, and it's great going into the international break. It's obviously good for points, but we know as fans watching it, like, points are great, but on the pitch, it's just really unconvincing, and it's a tough watch. Like, every game I come away from, like, that was a tough watch. And that's how I felt today. Like I say, stressful last 8 minutes. I was like, I'm closing my eyes. I'm going to go in another room until the whistle goes, because it's just anything can happen. So yeah,
I hear you. And some of that is in our heads. Some of that's in our heads. Some of that is because of what's happened. And obviously, Cam's a little bit more relaxed. I don't know whether he's been having a drink this morning or smoked this morning. I don't know what he's doing over there.
I've seen where Cam's been. Man's been on beaches. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's relaxed about this. I'm hella stressed.